No one noticed the first human ship arrive. That was the most frightening part. It slipped out of folded space without a flare, without a signal, without even a detectable distortion. Just a quiet absence where something suddenly was. The alien sentry grid around the planet Keros Prime, the crown jewel of the Vorkai Empire, registered nothing at all. No alarms, no warnings, no panic, and yet, deep inside the planet's mantle, ancient seismographs, devices older than the Empire itself, shuddered once, as if the world had flinched in its sleep. On the surface, under storm-black skies and burning industrial clouds, 1 billion Vorkai citizens went about their lives unaware that judgment had just entered orbit. The lone human vessel did not attack. It did not broadcast. It simply waited. And across the galaxy, in systems that had not seen a human in over 2 centuries, old scars began to ache. 212 years earlier, humanity had been erased from the maps of the stars. Not conquered, not defeated, deleted. The Vorkai had found Earth when humanity was still learning how to walk between suns. They praised human curiosity. They traded technologies. They spoke of alliances. Then, in a single night of betrayal, they did what predators always do to rising rivals. They burned the nest. Earth cracked under focused gravitational lances. Oceans boiled. Cities vanished before screams could form. Humanity's colonies were hunted one by one, their locations extracted through torture masquerading as interrogation. By the time the Vorkai were finished, every known human world was rubble, drifting ash, or silent tomb. The galaxy accepted the official story easily. Humanity was too aggressive. Humanity was too unstable. Humanity destroyed itself. The truth was simpler. Humanity survived. They survived not as worlds, not as nations, but as ghosts. Refuge fleets hid in radiation belts. Children were born in wrecked megastructures orbiting dead stars. Universities were rebuilt inside hollow asteroids. Armies never reformed because soldiers were too easy to find. Instead, humanity trained engineers, predators of code, gravity mathematicians, quantum saboteurs, and worst of all, historians. They taught their children one lesson above all others. Never forget a name. Never forgive a debt. For 2 centuries, the Vorkai Empire expanded unchallenged. They shattered civilizations. They enslaved species. Entire star systems burned because their industrial fleets needed fuel. None of it threatened them, because no one had ever made a predator bleed and lived long enough to try again. Until now, the human ship above Keros Prime was called the Grudge. It was small by Imperial standards. No planet-killing cannons. No gleaming fleet escorts. Just layered stealth, folded gravity cores, and a reactor designed not to explode, but to pull. When the Grudge finally moved, it did so by changing nothing visible at all. Keros Prime sun dimmed by less than 1/1000,000%. That was all. The Vorkai scientists dismissed it as a statistical fluctuation. 3 weeks later, their oceans began to retreat from the shores. Tidal distortion spread unpredictably. Whole coastlines collapsed. Internal magma flows reverse direction. The planet's magnetic field twisted into chaotic knots. Vorkai Command suspected exotic natural disasters, until their own military predictions began failing across the sector. Their fleets started arriving seconds late to engagements. Hyperlane jumps developed microscopic errors that stacked into catastrophic navigational drift. Physics itself was refusing to behave. And then the message appeared, not on public channels, not as a broadcast. It appeared only inside Vorkai military archives, embedded retroactively into footage recorded centuries earlier, on the day Earth died. A simple human phrase translated into their war language with brutal precision that acknowledged, interest begins now. Panic did not spread among the citizens. It spread among the admirals. The Vorkai assembled a task force of 300 warships and jumped directly toward Keros Prime's orbital anomaly. They emerged from hyperspace expecting to find a superweapon, a fleet, a fortress. They found nothing. Then the gravity behind them changed direction. Their ships did not explode. That would have been mercy. Instead, they were folded, hulls compressed inward as if reality itself was slowly closing a fist. Shield harmonics failed one layer at a time. Command carriers vanished without shock waves, crushed into silent singular scars in space. Only one ship escaped. It fled screaming into the Empire with a warning that shattered centuries of military doctrine. The humans don't fight space. They fight gravity. By the time the Empire mobilized its Grand Armada, the humans had already struck 11 core worlds without firing a visible shot. Planets destabilized from the inside. Stars developed artificial mass fluctuations. Civilizations drowned under their own manipulated orbits. The Vorakai who survived each collapse reported the same impossible sensor reading just before destruction. A human ship waiting. The Empire finally found the humans over the broken world of Zarn, where millions of enslaved species had been harvested for centuries. A full Vorakai battle line formed across space, thousands of ships in perfect formation, their cannons charged with enough firepower to sterilize solar systems. On the other side waited exactly 12 human vessels. Small, silent, laughably outnumbered. The Vorakai broadcast their demand. Surrender, disarm, face extinction properly this time. The humans answered with a single open-channel transmission. Not a threat, not a speech, a memory. The battlefield was flooded with real-time archive footage of Earth's destruction. Vorakai war signatures matched perfectly. Their own ancient codes confirmed the authenticity. Every gunner, every captain, every general was forced to witness the crime their species had tried to erase from history. Then the footage ended, and the humans attacked by doing something no empire had ever prepared for. They stopped fighting the ships. Instead, they rewrote the battlefield. Human gravity anchors detonated into existence across the star system like invisible landmines. Orbits destabilized. Light bent wrong. The Vorakai formations, optimized over millennia for clean linear warfare, shattered as space itself betrayed their geometry. Their own weapon discharges curved back into friendly lines. Precision became suicide. The human ships did not charge. They waited. Every time a Vorakai vessel tried to correct its course, it fell deeper into weaponized gravity wells designed months earlier by human tacticians who simulated enemy psychology as much as physics. Panic multiplied faster than casualties. Entire battle groups fled blindly, straight into orbits where the humans had placed nothing at all, because they didn't need bombs anymore. They used momentum. Stars became bullets. Planets became traps. Within 6 hours, the greatest fleet ever assembled by the Vorakai Empire was reduced to unmanned debris drifting along mathematically perfect graveyard spirals. The Empire collapsed in months. Rebellions ignited across slave systems. Old client species turned on their masters with human encryption keys that unlocked Vorakai supply caches and planetary defenses. Every rebellion carried the same symbol burned into command centers, a cracked planet, and beneath it, a single human word. Remember, the final Vorakai stronghold was not a world. It was a star forge, an ancient megastructure orbiting a neutron core, capable of birthing fleets in months instead of decades. It was there that the Empire's last rulers made their stand. Human ships surrounded it from every vector, but did not attack. Instead, they transmitted one last message. A child's voice. Human. Recorded centuries earlier. It was a school presentation. Sent from Earth a week before the invasion. Preserved by refugees who had never known why they kept it. If aliens ever come, the child said nervously, I hope we're kind, but if they hurt us, I think humans would come back, even if it takes a long time. Silence followed the transmission. Then the Grudge arrived, not with weapons, with mass. The human flagship locked its gravity core directly to the neutron star's tidal threshold. The Starforge tried to flee. Stars cannot run. The resulting gravitational shear did not explode the megastructure. It pulled it apart molecule by molecule. The Vorakai rulers died watching their final sanctuary slowly unravel into a glowing spiral of stolen metal and screaming energy, stretched across the death of their last certainty. When it was over, the humans did not claim territory. They did not demand tribute. They did not crown themselves rulers of the galaxy. They simply vanished again, leaving behind altered star charts, rewritten physics warnings, and a single interstellar law that spread faster than fear ever had. Do not exterminate what you do not fully erase. Because humans do not need empires to return. They only need time. And in the dark between stars, where gravity hums with quiet memory, there are still whispers among ancient civilizations, not about how humanity conquered the galaxy, but how they waited long enough to teach it what revenge truly meant.